The Mystery of Talara, Book 4, by Mira Liketh. Gina never saw the Emperor's agent Lady Brisciana again, but she kept her promise. Prosecus, a Nightblade in the service of the Empire, arrived at Lord Strail's house in disguise. She was an apt pupil, and within days he had taught her what she needed to know. "It is a simple charm, not the sort of spell that could turn a raging Daedroth into a love-struck puppy," said Prosecus. "If you do or say anything that would normally anger or offend your target, the power will weaken. It will alter temporarily his perception of you, as the spells of illusion usually do, but his feelings of respect and admiration for you must be supported by means of a charm of a less magical nature." "I understand," smiled Gina, thanking her tutor for the 2 spells of illusion he had taught her. The time had come to use her newfound skill. The Prostitutes' Guild House of Camlorn was a great palace in an affluent northern quarter of the city. Prince Cylon could have found his way there blindfolded, or blind drunk, as he often was. Tonight, however, he was only lightly inebriated, and he had resolved to drink no more. Tonight he was in the mood for pleasure. His kind of pleasure. "Where's my favourite Grigia?" he demanded of the guild mistress upon entering. "She's still healing from your appointment with her last week," she smiled serenely. "Most of the other women are in with clients as well, but I saved a special treat for you, a new girl, one you will certainly enjoy." The prince was guided to a sumptuously decorated suite of velvet and silk. As he entered, Gina stepped from behind a screen and cast her spell quickly, with her mind open to belief as Prosecus had instructed. It was hard to tell if it worked at first. The prince looked at her with a cruel smile, and then, like sun breaking through clouds, the cruelty left. She could tell he was hers. He asked her name. "I am between names right now," she teased. "I've never made love to a real prince before. I've never even been inside a palace. Is yours very big?" "It's not mine yet," he shrugged. "But someday I'll be king." "It would be wonderful to live in such a place," Gina cooed. "1,000 years of history. Everything must be so old and beautiful. The paintings and books, statues and tapestries. Does your family hold on to all of their old treasures?" "Yes. Hoarded away with a lot of boring old junk in the archive rooms in the vaults. Please, may I see you naked now?" "First a little conversation, though you may feel free to disrobe whenever you like," said Gina. "I had heard there was an archive room, but it's quite hidden away." "There's a false wall behind the family crypt," said the prince, gripping her wrist and pulling her towards him for a kiss. Something in his eyes had changed. "Your Highness, you're hurting my arm," Gina cried. "Enough talk, you bewitching whore," he snarled. Holding back a sharp jab of fear, Gina let her mind cool and perceptions whirl. As his angry mouth touched her lips, she cast a second spell she had learned from her illusionist mentor. The prince felt his flesh turn to stone. He remained frozen, watching Gina pull together her clothing and leave the room. The paralysis would only last for a few more minutes, but it was all the time she needed. The guild mistress had already left with all her girls, just as Gina and Lord Strail had told her to. They would tell her when it was safe to return. She had not even accepted any gold for her part in the trap. She said it was enough that her girls would not be tortured any more by that most perverse and cruel prince. "What a terrible boy," thought Gina as she raised her hood on her cloak and raced through the streets toward Lord Strail's house. "It is good that he will never be king."
Okay, so we're going to end the first half of the story there, because I got a feeling we're going to be in battle very shortly. take care of that. Where's Mercurio? I could really use his services for this fight. And once again, he's left lagging behind. Autumn Watchtower. Ooh. Is it actually a proper tower, or is it literally just a word wall? There does seem to be some kind of structure here, like an internal thing. It's actually a camp here as well. Well, I'm sure he'll catch up eventually. Can't spend all night waiting. There's also a kind of a hut over there somewhere, or an icon for a hut. Seems to be up in that hills. Some bedrolls. Hide boots of resist frost. Pretty nice in terms of the value compared to the weight ratio. Johnny Brett's Last Dance. I believe I have that book already, but could actually sell it for a pretty penny. We'll leave it though for now. Small sack with some salt within. Don't really need that. Oh, there you are. Thought you'd never arrive. What were you doing? Sightseeing? Okay, I hear fluttering of huge wings here. Our dragon friend might have spotted us. That could be Mercurio that's taking a blow. Oh! He's off and running, is a big guy. Or should I say he's off and flying? Where is he? Hey! Dung breath! Where are you? Where the hell is he? I'm quite concerned for Mercurio here. Mercurio? Come on. He's outside somewhere. Not to say he's a dragon, he's very elusive. Hello? What's going on? Stop! Ah, here he is! Here he comes to save the day! Come here, you little bleeder! What in the blue hells? Glitchy or what? That hurt. Wee-hoo! Where's Mercurio? A little bit of a strange affair, I must say. One minute he's here, the next minute he's gone, and then he's here again, and then he's crashing down at my feet and almost knocking me over. Very strange. Anyway, the dragon's dead. I mean, I can now also collect a quest reward from Anuriel, together with speaking with the Jarl and speaking with Medaci. So we've got a few things to hand in when we return to Riften. Ebony bow, gold and ingots to add to our list. And I hear the war calling to me. What am I going to receive this time? Leech. Marked for death. And just what the hell is that when it's at home? Or a whisper, perhaps? No. There we go. Speak, and let your voice herald doom, as an opponent's armor and life force are weakened. Okie dokie. Right, so before we go rushing back off to Riften, we're just gonna take a wee peeky at what might be in that hut just up yonder there. It's only 9:53. It'll be a late night we have, but that's the way things sometimes are. Let's have a wee nosy. Markurius certainly won't be keeping up with Elwyn sprinting up a hill. God forbid. We could take some chicken eggs. Birds. Harvest a bird's nest. We get pine thrush egg. Wonder if that makes a nice omelette. Pine thrush egg omelette. Frocky's shack. And who on earth is Frocky when he's at home? Hopefully somebody friendly.
Need something?
Oh. Wow, nice to meet you. I take it you're Frocky?
Just what we need. City folk barging in. Probably looking for an offering to the precious divines.
No, I, strictly speaking, don't really believe in the divines that much. Not the holiest of people.
Good. This is Skyrim, and we should honor the old ways. These foreigners don't even respect their own gods, much less Kyne and her sacred trials.
Okay, I knew that was coming. Well, yeah, what trials are those that you speak of?
It's an old Nord tradition. A test to prove your worth in the eyes of Kyne. Show that you're a hunter, and no simple butcher. Kyne teaches us to respect the beasts, and blesses the hunter who will face their champions. True Nord hunters are those who survive the trials. Do you think you're strong enough for Kyne's blessing? I would be glad to pass this tradition down.
I'm not a hunter, but I would be certainly interested in finding out or even trying these trials. Sure. Tell me what to do.
You must defeat guardian beasts blessed by Kyne. I will anoint you with the symbol of the wolf, the crab, and the skeever. This will compel the guardian to appear when you reach his lair. Here's where you need to go.
And is that it? Defeat the guardian skeever, guardian mudcrab, and guardian wolf. Okay, thanks a lot.
Until next time.
Not bothered about Kyne, to be fair, to ask him for a lecture about the god. Is it a god? Is it a she, a he, a what, an it? And his hamming. Hello.
Someday, I'm gonna kill a dragon all by myself.
Really? You like living here in a hut in the middle of nowhere?
It ain't so bad. I miss living with my parents back in Helgen, though. Froki can't cook, and there's nobody to talk to up here.
Oh, I see. Were your parents killed at Helgen?
Yeah, but don't say anything about it to Froki. I don't think he understands.
Oh, that's a bit sad. Oh well, nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Hello there, Valkyria. You arrive again. On time and prompt, I see. Excuse me, we are finished here. Kyne's trials, eh? But not tonight. We've enough trials and tribulations for one day. I require rest and recuperation. We can level up, but we'll save that for the next session. Of course, we are going to put the perk point into conjuration. So all that is left for us to do is to meander ourselves back to Riften, to Honeyside, and sleep for the first time in our very own bed. And whilst we meander our way back to there, we're going to continue with the rest of the story, Mystery of Talara, Part 4.
The following morning, the King and Queen of Camlorn held their daily audience with various nobles and diplomats, a sparse gathering. The throne room was largely empty. It was a terribly dull way to begin the day. In between petitions, they yawned regally. "What has happened to all the interesting people?" the Queen murmured. "Where's our precious boy?" "I've heard he was raging through the North Quarter in search of some harlot who robbed him," the King chuckled fondly. "What a fine lad!" "And what of the royal battle mage?" "I've sent him to take care of a delicate matter." The King knit his brow. "But that was nearly a week ago, and I haven't heard one word from him. It's somewhat troubling." "Indeed it is. Lord Errol should not be gone so long." The Queen frowned. "What if a rogue sorcerer came and threatened us? Husband, don't laugh at me. That is why all the royal houses of High Rock keep their mage retainers close to their side, to protect their court from evil enchantments, like the one that our poor Emperor suffered so recently." "At the hands of his own battle mage?" chuckled the King. "Lord Errol would never betray you like that, and you well know it. He has been in your employ since you were the Duke of Aloyne. To even make that comparison between he and Jaeger Tharn, really." The Queen waved her hands dismissively. "It is that sort of lack of trust that is ruining kingdoms all over Tamriel. Now, Lord Strail tells me—" "There's another man that's gone missing," mused the King. "The ambassador?" The Queen shook her head. "No, he's here. He was desirous to visit the crypts and pay homage to your noble ancestors, so I directed him there. Can't think of what's keeping him so long. He must be more pious than I thought." She was surprised to see the King rise up alarmed. "Why didn't you tell me?" Before she had a chance to reply, the subject of their conversation was coming through the open door to the throne room. On his arm was a beautiful fair-haired woman in a stately gown of scarlet and gold, worthy of the highest nobility. The Queen followed her startled husband's gaze, and was likewise amazed. "I had heard he was taken with one of the harlots from the Flower Festival, not a lady," she whispered. "Why, she looks remarkably like your daughter, the Lady Gilia." "That she does," the King gasped. "Or her cousin, the Princess Talara." The nobles in the room also whispered amongst themselves. Though few had been at court 20 years ago when the princess had disappeared, presumed murdered like the rest of the royal family, there were still a few elder statesmen who remembered. It was not only on the throne that the word Talara passed through the air like an enchantment. "Lord Strail, will you introduce us to your lady?" the Queen asked, with a polite smile. "In a moment, your Highness, but I'm afraid I must first discuss pressing matters," Lord Strail replied with a bow. "Might I request a private audience?" The King looked at the Imperial Ambassador, trying to read into the man's expression. With a wave of his hand, he dismissed the assembled and had the door shut behind them. No one remained in the audience room but the King, the Queen, the Ambassador, a dozen royal guards, and the mysterious woman. The Ambassador pulled from his pocket a sheaf of old yellowed parchment. "Your Highness, when you ascended the throne, after your brother and his family were murdered, anything that seemed important, deeds and wills, were of course kept with the clerks and ministers. His entire incidental, unimportant personal correspondence was sent to archive, which is standard protocol. This letter was among them." "What is all this about, sir?" the King boomed. "What does it say?" "Nothing about you, your Majesty. In truth, at the time of your Majesty's ascension, No one reading it could have understood its significance. It was a letter to the Emperor, the late king your brother was penning at the time of his assassination, concerning a thief who had once been a mage priest at the temple of Sethiat here in Camlaw. His name was Jaeger Tharn. Jaeger Tharn? The Queen laughed nervously. Why, we were just talking about him. Tharn had stolen many books of powerful and forgotten spells and lore about such artifacts as the Staff of Chaos, where it was hidden and how it could be used. News travelled slowly to westernmost High Rock, and by the time the king, your brother, had heard that the Emperor's new battle mage was a man named Jaeger Tharn, many years had passed. The king had been writing a letter to warn the Emperor of the treachery of his imperial battle mage, but it was never completed. Lord Strail held up the letter. It is dated on the day of his assassination in the year 385, 4 years before Jaeger Tharn betrayed his master and began the 10 years of tyranny of the imperial simulacrum. That is all very interesting, the king barked, but what has it to do with me? The late king's assassination is now a matter of imperial concern, and I have a confession from your royal battle mage Lord Errol. The king's face lost all colour. You miserable worm! No man may threaten me. Neither you, nor that whore, nor that letter will ever see the light of day again. Guards! The royal guards unsheathed their blades and pressed forward. As they did so, there was a sudden shimmering of light, and the room was filled with imperial nightblades, led by Prosecus. They had been there for hours, lurking invisibly in the shadows. In the name of His Imperial Majesty, Uriel Septim VII, I arrest you, said Strail. The doors were opened, and the king and queen were led out, heads bowed. Gina told Prosecus where he would most likely find their son, Prince Cylon. The courtiers and nobles who had been in the audience chamber stared at the strange, solemn procession of their king and queen to their own royal prison. No one said a word. When at last a voice was heard, it startled all. The Lady Gilia had arrived at court. What is happening? Who dares to usurp the authority of the king and queen? Lord Strail turned to Prosecus. We will speak with the Lady Gilia alone. You know what needs to be done. Prosecus nodded and had the doors to the throne room closed once again. The courtiers pressed against the wood, straining to hear everything. Though they could not say it, they wanted an explanation almost as much as her ladyship did.
Divine smile on you, friend. All right, what is it?
Tell them to take up a seat near the warm fire.
Okay, got it.
There we go. We
Anything else?
shall rest our weary head and, well, tomorrow or later on today, head out into Riften, sell our wares, speak with who we need to speak to after handing quests, and then we shall head out and explore what there is here in the Rift. People have suggested locations already on past videos and in the forums, and I will be taking down those locations and trying to speak with Marcurio to see if he knows where they are, so we can head out there and explore them. And if there are any more locations that you think Elwyn should be stumbling across on his travels, then please let me know. So until next time, see you soon.